Hello, Jim Lurkey, owner of Safety Connections, part 2 of welcoming a new employee at Willman Industries. I'm gonna go through a checklist today. All right, so it will be something like this that you will just check off, all right, as you're hired and you hear this video. So with that in mind, away we go. Number 1, accidents. When must we report an accident? Immediately. And that's a win-win situation. It's covering your butt because you're following the instructions to report immediately. In return, we as a supervisor in a company can take the corrective actions before something worse happens. So win-win. Number 2, proper lifting. And there's a handout. And the bottom line with proper lifting is you keep a load close to your body. All right, when you're bending at the knees. And when you're lifting with your legs. So please keep that in mind. And again, when you start, the width should be shoulder width with one foot in front of the other. Next, if in doubt, we must always ask first. What does that mean? There's a question about how to do any kind of a job, any kind of a process of a job. We're required to always ask a person in charge or someone else that would be your supervisor or someone at least in a leadership capacity. Next, when am I trained or qualified? Here's when you're trained and qualified. I, as giving you an example, would demonstrate how to do this job. In return, when you and I both agree that you understand what I've been training you in, I, as the trained employee, would observe you, walking you through the process. At the point that both you as a new employee and I, given I'd be the trainer, are both in agreement you're 100% comfortable and understand how to do that job safely and correctly. Next, stretching. There's a handout for you to keep, and that's simply in between your work shift, before your shift. Highly encouraged, slight stretches, that's all you need, all right? And encourage you to do a set of those, like up to 5-6 sets a day, if you will. Next, safety is a condition of employment. What does that mean? As anyone would get hired at any kind of company or business, the bottom line is we're required to follow the policies and procedures of the business. That's what it means. So as we talk about safety culture and safety issues, we're required as a condition to follow the rules, policies, and procedures as outlined. Simple as that. Next, we have a thing that's called the second opinion policy. And there's a handout for you. In a nutshell, what does it mean? What it means is this. You as a new employee and your supervisor, something comes up and you have a disagreement about some corrective action regarding safety. Whenever there's a difference of opinion between two employees, required to get another opinion from somebody within management. Required. All right? So that tells you the degree at which we at Willman place safety. Extra set of eyes, extra set of ears. And here's really the clincher. There can be absolutely zero retaliation against you or anyone who brings up a safety issue or concern. So always keep that in mind. Next, what's your goal every day? Well, the goal every day, maybe I want to back up one more before we get to the goal. Cutting, all right? I like to share, I'll just let you see this. So you grab something, and when cutting, always cut away. I mean away from all body parts at all times. That's a good way to avoid any kind of injury with a knife, including retract your knife when done, and don't ever put it in your pocket. Put it away from the edge of the table, all right? but make absolutely certain that you retract the knife. Your goal. I haven't talked to anyone whose goal isn't that the way I come to work is the way I go home. What I want you to know is that is the exact same goal of the company here at Willman. So the way we come to work is the way we got to go home. Period. That's the goal. So always keep that in mind. Next, near miss. What is a near miss? It is something that happens. An example is something's put up in a shelf. It falls off the shelf. No one's injured. Those are the kind of requirements, an example that we have to let management know. We can do retraining. We can do it more often. We can change our process in the way that we stack or unstack loads or shelving, if you will. So, near miss reporting, critical. Weight limit. If in doubt, the rule's simple. We get help. We have a lot of lift trucks, different types of vehicles for lifting devices. We either get help or get a different piece of equipment before we hurt ourselves in the first place. So if in doubt, we got to make sure that we always ask first. Next, staying out of harm's way. What does that mean? Here's what it means. If we're working on any kind of machinery, can't put our hands in harm's way. If there's overhead going on, we must step back and be away from it. Never underneath it, never even the potential of putting ourselves in harm's way. No exception to that rule. So always keep that in mind. It's critical. Next, pre-use inspections. Pre-use inspections are required if we grab a hand tool, we grab a power tool, we grab an electrical cord, we grab a ladder. Pre-use inspection is absolutely required each and every time. That's the only way we can protect ourselves and others. So always understand that is a requirement. Corrective action. Something's wrong, something needs fixing. When we notice it, we got to tell our supervisor or person in charge. No exception to that rule. If we're going to meet our goal, we must follow that process. Next, there's a handout and how we communicate here at Willman. And it's the third star down, okay? And it talks about 4 words. Actually, let's make it 5 words, if you will. Everyone we deal with, we must deal with it in a caring, kind, asking, helping way. It's called respect, folks. That is an expectation here at Willman. Moving on. Number 1 priority is safety. So what does that mean? In a nutshell, what it means? We don't deviate from safety policies, procedures, or the question that we might have that when we're in doubt about something, we got to ask. There's no gray area, no deviating, no guesswork. So keep that in mind. Why is safety the ultimate of importance? In session number 1, or I should say part 1, we talked about why safety is so important. So just to keep in mind, just a review of that, keep this in mind, if you will. The bottom line is clients, future clients, pain and suffering, cost. When I say that, here's an example of a handout that talks about cost for you. This is now the latest and greatest data, 3% profit. $21,959 cost. Sales needed to cover all costs, $1,537,000. Folks, the choices we make matter, and we all must be aware of that, no matter who we are. Okay? Also part of that is the OSHA fines. This comes right from OSHA. We could be fined just for general, $15,625. For a repeater willful, we could be fined per violation, $156,259 per violation. Our choices matter. above and beyond. Our jobs matter. This is where it's at, folks. That's why I share all the information and also give you handouts, because it's that vital. Okay? And don't forget about mod rates on how it affects workers' comp costs. Our decisions matter to be safe every day. Next, I want to talk about pinch points. Okay? Earlier, I showed you a demonstration, and here that is, again, the hookup. See where this hand is? See where this hand is? It's below. And you know where not to have it? Right here. Never right here. Here we go. All right? In any of these openings, right here. Or here. Never put your fingers or hands in there. It's a pinch point. So you want to be above and you want to be below it. Never in between. Never put your hands in pinch point way. Okay, so how can I remind you to make absolutely certain you think about it? I look at it as a 5-step approach. On your check sheet, you're going to see A, B, C, D, E. Number 1, we got to be thinking. We got to focus, folks. 2, we got to be looking what we're doing. 3, we got to listen. All right? 4, we got to ask if we're in doubt. And 5, all right? Pinch points are to be avoided no matter what the situation. Remember that. It is critical. It's vital. It's a must. And lastly, if we got any questions, reminder, if any, we must always ask. No question. With that, I welcome you to Willman. I ask you, I beg you, make good choices. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Caught between, all right? Caught against something. Pinch points, hands in wrong places. Every one of you can make the right choice. That's up to you. With that, I will look forward to meeting you soon. Take care.